Seventh episode of Alien Earth, almost the last episode. We only have one left after this, 8. So in seventh episode we see what is wrong as a whole in Alien Earth TV series. This is important because this is the first time when we have a series in Alien universe. Other installments, they were full-grown movies since since first Alien. Then we had Aliens. Then we had Alien 3. Then we had Alien Resurrection. Then we had Alien Prometheus, and then we had Alien Covenant, and we also have two installments similar, Alien vs Predator and Alien vs Predator Requiem. And right now we have the first TV series, and this series made a grave mistake of trying to connect two completely separate, or even three completely separate problems. So, because right now we have three main issues. The main issue and the main plot, which is the most important mistake, is that they focused on three types of beings, which is synthetics, so robots who almost think like humans. We have cyborgs, so humans who decided to connect themselves with a machine, and we have a new design by this prodigy organization, hybrids, so humans whose consciousness was put into robotic body, and they are the newest and probably the most advanced, and this focus on a completely bizarre idea which should be fine in, let's say, in Blade Runner movie, and maybe Blade Runners are also connected to Alien universe, because this is the same director, Ridley Scott. First was of course Alien in 1979, and Blade Runner was about, I think, in 1980 or 81, 82, something like that, in early 80s. But this is a completely different topic. When I subscribed to Disney specifically for this TV series, I wanted to see Alien and, for example, different specimens of aliens, but connected to the xenomorph, and not completely different aliens, because we have different species, but they are completely different species. And and this grave mistake on focusing on human level of cyborgs, synthetics, and hybrids is even more important than, for example, the idea of big corporations ruling Earth, because this was the let's say the second or the third most interesting part. What are these corporations? What is Weyland-Yutani Corporation? Why this corporation is so famous? Why it's so powerful? But right now here we have this focus, this agenda on human issues, on cyborg issues, on hybrids issue, is completely irrelevant to the alien species. It's like two separate movies, and because they created this also this idea that the hybrids were connected to quite small kids, like 12 years old, they all behave in an infantile way, but the whole series is infantile. The whole series is so infantile that the creators can say, well, these are just children, so our TV series is a little bit or mediocre, childish, but because of that, all is suffering, because for example, in this seventh episode specifically, we see that the xenomorph, that this horrible creature, evil, bad, terrifying, is becoming a pet to Wendy. Is becoming a pet, and Alien is now killing those which Wendy is in conflict with. So she understands their language to the point that she can communicate with him as he was some kind of a higher being, almost like some kind of a race. And aliens in greatest probability are just a tool, a weapon created probably in some kind of advanced laboratory. They are almost no different species. They are maybe different types of unknown animals or something like that, or monsters even, but not a being which is capable of understand your thoughts, understand more advanced ideas. That's what makes it terrifying. That these monsters are just breeding, reproducing, and killing, and only these three things. They don't think about other things, and that's why they are so vicious. That only these things are interesting to them. Even, for example, we saw this in Alien vs Predator movies. In first one, that there was a legend that predators in some capacity created aliens, and they were and they contacted pre-Columbian civilizations in Americas. Indians thought that predators are gods, and they allowed certain people from, let's say, lower status to breed aliens in themselves. But even then, predators only fought with aliens. They couldn't control them. They couldn't order them to do something. They couldn't force them to be something more advanced. They were just killing machines, and for predators, this honorable killing of such a monster is a deed worthy of title of being a hunter or a predator. So this was okay. So even if let's say very advanced civilization like predators weren't allowed they couldn't do anything more than just that, than just kill and fight with aliens. And even they were overwhelmed in this specific scene in the movie, Alien versus Predator, and they just used their detonation bombs to obliterate everything. And this was so if the predators were not able to control aliens, how can people, or even hybrid cyborgs, whatever, how they can control aliens? There is a game, StarCraft, and in this game StarCraft we have let's say a brood like Zergs, and Zergs are in some kind familiar to the idea of aliens, but they are, to some extent you can control them, just like put a signal somewhere and they will go to this place. And this is the only way, of the most advanced controlling you can have. That, for example, you have a beacon on some planet, you want to obliterate this planet. There was a planet called Tarsonis, and they put a beacon on it, and it lured Zergs to this Tarsonis planet, and they obliterated and murdered almost all people on that planet. But it was not a control, it was more like a luring them to some place, and that's all. And it was good idea that the Zergs are only Kerrigan could control them, but she was a Zerg. She was a mutation of human and a Zerg, and she was the queen of them, the empress of the Zerg, and she was only that, only this one specific woman. But here you have like you want to show us that, because Wendy is also defending, her brother wants to destroy them. he told her that they are just monsters, that they need to be killed, and Wendy is telling him some nonsense, which is pure nonsense, because okay, she can feel what they feel, but she see what they are doing. Yes, and in this specific episode we see that that even and this is the second, after focusing so much on human issues, cyborg issues, hybrid issues, the second maybe greatest mistake is that except alien species, except xenomorph species, we have five we have the fly, we have some kind of plant, we have some kind of a worm, and we have this spider-like eye. So four other species, and they are more terrifying, more unknown, more omniscious, more eerie beings, entities, that Xenomorph himself. And and this is, it's good to the point that that okay, something is worthy to watch in this TV series, but because they are so well created, showed to us, they have their own unique unknown history, and this is terrifying. Like, for example, in this specific seventh episode, we see that Boy Cavalier is fascinated that the spider eye-like creature is probably the most intelligent being he ever encountered, but and he can, and he's wondering what will happen if they bring this eye to a human host, not animal like a sheep or something like that, to a human host. Okay, and this is interesting in a way. What will happen if this is some kind of, if we, for example, have creatures who are more dangerous, more terrifying than xenomorphs themselves? But this is different topic. This is another topic for another series. For, let's say, we right now we will be having in a couple of days Predator Badlands, about young predator on a very dangerous planet fighting with different life forms. So this is a good idea, predators versus different life forms and so on. But in alien specific theme, aliens should be the more terrifying, the more unknown, the most aggressive creatures, the more. And here we only see that this predator, they are behaving like pets, like wild dogs, like big bears, dogs, varks, lupins, or whatever. They just are not scary anymore, and they are not unknown to us anymore, because in first Alien we had this idea that this derelict ship, it crashed on this asteroid, but we don't know specifically why it crashed. Probably because alien incursion into one of the bodies of pilots, but is the for example the engineers, the space jockeys, they were the creators of aliens, or maybe they just found many legs and eggs and wanted to use them. We know almost nothing of the origins of alien species, maybe except let's say comics, but comics are a little bit different idea, a little bit different agenda. But in the canon, we almost know nothing about alien species, and this is interesting, this is funny, but this series should show us some more advanced steps to the alien culture, to the alien breeding, to the alien idea of queen, to the alien idea of locust, let's say. Do we have different types of aliens? What are they really? Are they weapon? Are they something which is only created and fake, or they are really an animals? on their combination of animals and some advanced technology. We almost know nothing which is feasible, because of course we have this idea of alien covenant when the android David, whatever his name was, created the first egg. But this was a wacky idea. It was not very good explained. So the idea is still open. And this specific episode is showing us that we are focused more on Weyland-Yutani fighting with Prodigy Corporation, moral agenda to recover the specimens, and so on. And Alien is at the last place. The more interesting is moral Kirsch discussions. The alien is almost like it's not important, like it's a completely third or fourth idea. Other ideas are for the creators, or for what we see, are more interesting, more important, and it becoming and also this series have become goofy. And right now these last episodes show us, because let's say fifth and even sixth with this dangerous eerie fly, it was still scary. It was still unknown what will happen, what the situation is here. But from the seventh episode, almost the last, we see that this is more of a, for example, how would soldiers or guards of Weyland-Yutani or Prodigy Corporation react to the threat of being cocooned by the aliens? We saw this situation in Aliens, yes? Like Marines saw that some of them are still alive, but they don't want to go back and fight again with these creatures. They are terrified. And we know that they fought with some kind of bugs, but alien species was completely different idea, completely different parish, completely different galaxy. For them, for well-trained Marines. And right now we have only guards, and they completely behave like they are robots. They don't scream, they don't have emotions when they are fighting with alien. It's really stupid, and it's becoming goofy, because all these hybrids are behaving almost not like 12 years olds, but like 7 years olds. They don't know anything. They are very dumb. They are stupid. They are dull. they are really retardedly goofy, and because of that, the whole series is becoming goofy. Because after second Aliens, we had tries to show Alien in a different perspective. For example, in Alien 3, in Alien Resurrection, but these movies, even though they were far worse than the first two, they were still, let's say, mediocre. They still were mediocre, and because Alien Covenant especially and this Alien Earth is so bad, that these mediocre movies almost are better and better with time, because they still had some interesting plots. And this TV series is restricted for about, I think 60 plus, but it's so dumb, it's so stupid, it's so focused on special effects, on agendas which are completely ignored. Because, for example, Angry Joe was always thinking, what will happen with this Kirsch guy? Is he had second thoughts about this project? If he secretly hates Boy Cavalier? And no, from at the end of 8th episode, we see that Kirsch didn't have any specific agenda, and everything was shown in a way that we were thinking that Kirsch really wants this laboratory and this project fail miserably. And nothing. No, he didn't. He didn't have any idea. He didn't cooperate with Weyland Yutani. He wasn't a spy. Nothing like that. So he just behaved like that because the creators of the series wanted him to behave like that, which is completely nonsense because he, for example, sees that there is a chaos in the laboratory, and to work faster on for example Nibs, not Nibs, but this Asian dude killed by the fly. He did nothing. He's not only observing. So when he was observing, we assume that he has some kind of a idea of a secret plan. He's working maybe for a third corporation unknown to us, or different actors which are unknown to us. This would be interesting. And this whole boy cavalier retarded teenage guy, he's completely retarded. I don't know why he called his corporation a prodigy. It should be called retarded. He's fascinated with this spider-like creature because he wants to discuss with someone who is more intelligent than him, but behaving like that, the alien creature would just kill him immediately. He would find him and kill him, and he's not terrified. He's not scary that his project is failing, that the alien and different species are too aggressive, too hostile to be contained in such small space, in such small laboratory. And nothing really makes sense in this series anymore. And it is so goofy. They behave so goofy and bizarre that I don't want to hear about hybrid children no more. When you for example, let's say you want to guess if really 12 years olds are behaving like that, and you want to, let's say, hear what 12 years olds are discussing about, they are much more intelligent than these heroes, that these specific heroes, 12 years old hybrids. Oh my god, it's becoming so goofy that it's almost like a parody of Alien, and not normal standalone series about alien threat. What about this great threat of aliens becoming a scourge to whole Earth? Because they cannot be contained, they are very dangerous. They can, for example, hide in a very difficult places, unknown to us on Earth, and they spread vastly, and becoming like a holocaust to all humanity. This would be interesting. This would be terrifying. This would be scary. How to control them, how to contain them, how to destroy them. Like Ripley says that she wants to destroy them, and Burke says no. Let's use them to create something more powerful, more destructive. But here they are just like pets. Wendy is telling Alien, kill those soldiers. He is killing dead soldiers. Wendy is saying hide and seek, and he understands comments, orders from the superior, from General Lieutenant Wendy, to hide and seek. The creature which even predators and even, let's say, space jockeys, engineers, humongous creatures weren't able to control, because we saw that in first Alien that this space jockey, that this pilot, probably facehugger catch him, and Alien spread through his body. So even they were not immune to facehuggers or the strength of young Alien bursting from its chest. These humanoids, big, engineer, heavyweight creatures. And right now, aliens are just big dogs which are controlled by Wendy. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this specific 7th episode of Alien Earth.